Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Sorry for the long wait, but today I want to make a video on South Park, more specifically South Park Phone Destroyer. South Park Phone Destroyer is a mobile game based on the South Park IP, and I want to make a list of 20 characters I would like to see put into the game. First up is the Mayor of Imaginationland. I would put him in a neutral because I don't think you could make an entire list of characters from Imaginationland because a lot of them are licensed characters. Now, Imaginationland's a huge story from the TV show. It was the first three-parter they did, and I would have him be like a epic, maybe a legendary. I think I don't really know what he would do for an attack, but I will try to talk as much as I can about stuff I would like these characters to do, but maybe have him. He would definitely be a tank, maybe about as strong as Osmo, and attack like maybe just punch, hit, like maybe Man Bear Pig level of hit. Next is Wilsiax. Now Wilsiax I would have be like a Zen Cartman, where it's Wilsiac is just a dead body. He's just laying on the ground, and basically what the enemy team is doing is they're getting rid of Wilsiac, getting him out of the way, because you know he's like Zen Cartman in a way where you take him down, like you're mainly focused on taking him down, but he's a tank, so he takes up a lot of health. I would have him have even more health than Zen Cartman, and I would probably put him as an epic, so a bit rarer than Zen Cartman, but because I think Zen Cartman's either a rare or an epic, I don't remember exactly, but yeah, I would put him as neutral. Basically all these characters I would put as neutral, but if otherwise I will say it. Next up is Stuart McCormick, Kenny's dad. With this character I could put him as a legendary, have him be like, or even just an epic, have him have the health of Sixth Element Randy, but he throws beer bottles, not as a special attack, but as his ordinary attack is throwing beer bottles. So he could be a character like Medusa Baby, where she shoots her arrows, but Stuart just throws beer bottles. So he could even be kind of like a Marcus, with Marcus's special attack, in that kind of sense. So yeah, that's what I gotta say on Stuart. I would like to have him be added to the game because Sharon and Randy are added to the game, so it'd be nice to see the other parents added as well. Next is Kyle Schwartz. This is Kyle's cousin Kyle. I think it'd be great to see him added to the game. He's a pretty funny character, and I think he could be a character that doesn't have a lot of health. He's more of a rare character. He doesn't have a lot of health. His attacks aren't that great, but maybe he can heal. Maybe he's a bit of a weaker version of the I forget the Jimmy that heals, but maybe like a weaker but easier to get version of him. Maybe even take up less energy, like maybe he's only 2 energy. So something like that I could imagine from him. And yeah. Next up is one I don't hear anyone talk about, and that is the turkeys. Now the turkeys were from a season 1 episode, the Starvin Marvin episode, and saying, oh, we have Starvin Marvin in the game, it'd be cool to have the turkeys. Now I think it'd be cool if the Braveheart turkey, the one in the front, is the card you pull, but his special attack is spawning in 2 more turkeys. And the turkeys could be, like, if they had a decent amount of health, maybe about as much health as, not too much health, maybe as much as Gizmo Ike, or maybe even a tiny bit more, and their attacks do a bit more damage, maybe like the Sally, I think that's her name. But this takes up 5 energy, and it is an epic to a legendary card. But yeah, and the main turkey, the Braveheart turkey, taking up a lot of health though. Kind of like maybe Sexton on Randy. Next is Lemmy-Winks. Lemmy-Winks is a character that bolts straight towards the new kid, the enemy new kid, kind of like the Dougies. However, the only, like, enemies won't attack him because he's so small that you don't see him. and really the only way to kill him is the new kid using his zap ability. Now, obviously, this Lemmy-Winks would have little help because the attack doesn't do too much damage. New Kid doesn't do that much damage, but I think something like that would be cool. That only New Kid could kill himself. It'd be pretty different, and Lemmy-Winks does decent attack. Next is Liu Kim. I think that's what his name is. I would like him to be like his Mongolian fighting attire, where he's more of a legendary. He has a lot of health, maybe about as much as the Man Bear Pig, and his attack was maybe better than Man Bear Pig's, maybe more along the lines of a Heidi or even a more of like a Hook and Clyde or even a Dog Poo. And yeah, I think he would be a cool character, obviously a legendary, but yeah, it would be cool to see him in the game. And maybe his special attack is bringing out his sword and like hitting an enemy, one-shotting them, no matter who they are. Next up is Mr. Slave. Now, Mr. Slave could have not that much health, but a decent enough attack. But the special ability is what you're going to want to use him. Now, the special ability is him shoving a character up his ass, kind of like he does in the episodes and even in the Stick of Truth game. Why is that special ability so great? It can one-shot any character. Now, granted, him getting the special attack takes a long time, so keeping him alive is priority. Because, as I said, he wouldn't have that much health. Because if he had a lot of health, a good attack, and that special ability that one-shots you, yeah, he'd be too overpowered. But I would put him as a legendary, and I think he would be a pretty good character. Like, he could even take down Man Bear Pig with that special attack. Next is Mr. Garrison. It's kind of surprising we haven't gotten a Mr. Garrison in the game as of yet. Now, there are rumors, well, not really rumors, but like they have shown card pictures of like a Spock Garrison and a President-elect Garrison. So, yeah, Mr. Garrison, I would like if, you know, he's a tank as well, does a decent amount of attack. He could be more like an epic, maybe a tank more like Osmo, but attack more like Dog Poo. I think or maybe that would make him too overpowered, but a better attack than Osmo or the Sheriff Cartman. I think that would be a pretty fair card, and yeah. Okay, next up is the only card that is seemingly coming out that I'm going to put on this list because like Terrence and Phillip, they're not on this list because they have been shown that they might be coming out. But President-elect Garrison is the only one I'm going to have on this list that looks like he's coming out. President-elect Garrison, I would maybe have the same stats as President Garrison. Like he has maybe a slap, and he's special attack would be sending a nuke that wipes everyone off screen. Kind of like a Stand of Many Moons, but it wipes out everyone in one hit because it's a fucking nuke. Although that could make Stand of Many Moons pointless. However, having Stand of Many Moons and President-elect Garrison on your deck, both of them at once, that would be pretty good, but it might be a bit too overpowered. Next is Cow Days. Cow Days basically spawns in a bunch of cows. Cows that are easy enough to, well, maybe like the little things that Sixth Element Randy spits out, they're maybe about as strong as them. Their attack is decent, but they basically run across the screen, and maybe only like two of them stay behind. Next is Santa Claus. He's a card that is pretty big in South Park, and I think he would be great as in a tank enemy like Osmo, but deals damage like a Dog Poo. And his special attack is him taking out his shotgun and one-shotting one random enemy, or even dealing a lot of damage to New Kid if he hits him. Obviously, Santa would be a legendary. Next up is Jesus, and I think Jesus would be another pretty cool character to use as well. And I think it'd be great for him to throw Ninja Stars as a special ability that again one-shots an enemy, but he maybe has more about as much health as a sexy nun Randy, and his attack is about as good as a sexy nun Randy. Maybe even a dog poo. But yeah, I think G's like that. Now I don't know if these characters can be added because these are like historical figures, and whether you believe in Jesus or not, like I don't know if they can use characters like this. Same with celebrities. That's why characters like Mel Gibson aren't on here, or even like more historical figures like Saddam Hussein. Next up is Satan though, and Satan I believe would be a man bear pig but stronger, and more he does more damage than a man bear pig. He would be a pretty goddamn tough enemy to take down. Obviously a legendary, but a super hard to get legendary. Maybe even one that takes up 8 or 9 energy because he is really fucking powerful. And yeah, he would be better than Man Bear Pig in a lot of ways because it makes sense. It's the Prince of fucking Darkness. What you expect. Next is Beatrice McGillicuddy. I think that's her name. She'd be great to go along with the Marcus, seeing how Marcus and her were both introduced in the same episode, and they've only, to my knowledge, only appeared in that one episode. I think it'd be cool if, maybe she doesn't have too much health, maybe about as much as a Heidi, but her attack isn't even that great, but her special attack is maybe throwing drugs at characters. Next is the Bat Dad. Now, Bat Dad would be a tank enemy. He would do a decent amount of attack. Maybe like the Sally, I think. And his special attack would be throwing beer on a character that maybe poisons them, I guess. You could have him do that, although would beer poison someone? No, but well, it could give them alcohol poison, so you could have them get poisoned over that, so yeah, I think something like that would be pretty cool. Alright, next up is the last member of the Marsh family. Well, the main Marsh family. There's also Stan's grandpa, but Shelley Marsh. Shelley Marsh maybe have as much health as a dog poo and does a hell of a lot of damage, like a Sally, but faster than a Sally. And her special attack is maybe like a big strong punch, or maybe even throwing a lawnmower on someone like she did to Stan in that episode from season 1, I think. I think she'd be a pretty cool character to have, especially seeing how we have Randy, Sharon, and Stan. It'd be cool to have Shelley as well. Next up is Romper Stomper. Now, Romper Stomper could be like a Mimsy where he goes straight for the new kid and starts punching him. But he maybe has more health than Mimsy. And maybe even his attack is a bit stronger. So, yeah, it might even make Mimsy a bit pointless, you may say. But it would be a good character to use. So it would. But yeah, I wouldn't say it makes Mimsy too worthless. Maybe have him be harder to get. So Mimsy is an alternative for maybe if you don't want to go after card openings. Next is Pip, and Pip would be an easier character to get. Maybe doesn't as much damage as like a dog poo or something, but has health like a Sally or even like a Tweak, but has a great special attack, which is throwing a dodgeball at a random enemy that one-shots them. Maybe that could even be a war cry, because we have seen in the show that Pip is very good at dodgeball and very strong when it comes to dodgeball. Next up is Old Frida. Now, Old Frida could be a character that goes around, slaps the enemies, maybe has about as much health as a sexy nun Randy, but the special attack she has is giving a character herpes, which is basically you could call that like the poison. However, it's a pretty bad poison that takes health fast. Way faster than any other character like that. And I think that would make her a pretty good character to use in that regard. So, yeah, I think something like that would be cool. And next up is probably the character I want the most, and what a lot of people want, and that is Chef. Chef is a huge character in South Park, and you may say maybe they won't use characters like Pip and Chef because they're both dead, but then again, Terrence Mephisto is dead, and he's in the game. So, and if you want to know when he died, they confirmed it in the Fractured But Whole, and I think Stick of Truth and Fractured But Whole are actually canon, but I don't think Phone Destroyer is canon. So, yeah. Now, I think you could have multiple chefs, not just the one. A Nazi zombie chef, like in Stick of Truth, and Chef's actually been turned into a zombie twice. Once in Stick of Truth after he died, and then one in the season 1 episode where he looked kind of like Michael Jackson in the Thriller video. And then, if I could say like another chef that would be probably one I would put in the sci-fi theme, and that's Dart Chef. And I think something like that would be pretty cool. And yeah, those are my picks. I might do more, I don't know, but those are just some of the characters I picked. So I didn't go into too much detail with them. I don't really know what all of them could do, but these are characters I would like to see. Anyway, goodbye, thanks.